Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Blank Check here, and today we are back one last time to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. This is episode 222, the series finale, The Last Problem. It's written by Josh Haber, who has been instrumental in the series since season 4, and it obviously has a lot of pressure to close out the show. Especially after that last episode, which had a nearly pitch-perfect ending, with all the races and the groups of characters we've come to know coming together to defeat all the major villains of the show, followed by a simple but affecting send-off with our main 7, the ones we've known from day 1, together back at Donut Joe's in Canterlot, taking a break before the next stage in their lives. The only major loose end we have is Twilight's coronation, her becoming Equestria's ruler. So I guess there's 3 ways this plays out. 1, the last problem revolves around that, and she's coronated around the ending. But the other 2 would feed more into this being a broader epilogue, perhaps. And that's if she's coronated at the beginning of this episode, or we just skip it outright and there's a time jump. I'm really not sure. One thing I wonder is if the transfer of power causes a transformation in Twilight to become more like Celestia or Luna in appearance. Another question is, what happens to her friends? Are there additional consequences for the main 6? And I'm very curious to simply know what the last shot of this show is. I think I've seen people having mixed opinions on what happens here, but whatever happens, whether the scale of this episode is small or large, it's going to have a huge impact for the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you are ready for this or not, because I don't know if I am, let's take care of one last problem. Alright, sounds like a coronation to me. All the races together. Oh, that's a wonderful statue. Oh my god, hold on. Hold the... One moment. I'm gonna need a hot second. And then I'll restart this episode. I knew it was possible, but I'm gonna need a second. Whew. I think this episode might make me cry. Alright, take it from the top. Let's try this again. Now that I know what's happening. Oh my god. Alright.
As soon as I could, but Friendship Ambassador is a full-time job.
He's so buff.
Making peace between Abyssinians and the Diamond Dogs has not been easy.
I like her doing the,
picked you for the job.
Oh, the deep voice.
But I'm glad you could come.
Is Tara Strong doing the same Twilight voice?
Emergency.
Ever since I took over Celestia's school, my focus has been on teaching magic. But now it seems my top student has missed the most important lesson of all.
She does have the same voice, that's great.
To say it'll be good to have my royal advisor and friendship ambassador by my side.
I like how she has a flowing mane with the
Send her in, Gallus.
straight up, oh, the hard cuts on her hair even then. Gallus is the royal guard.
Your Majesty. Lester, I may be the ruler of Equestria.
Oh my
I'm still
god.
just your teacher.
And you've been wonderful. I've enjoyed every moment at the School of Magic. But I'm just not sure it's the right place.
And she has her own personal
I
students.
see.
And it's not work. I could spend weeks in the library doing research.
Send her to
It's just
Ponyville.
that there's a lot of focus on making friends.
If that's your problem, you've come to the right place.
Oh boy.
That's just it. I don't want to make friends.
Ooh, that's the problem. Okay, here's our
So you'd rather leave the School of Magic than make friends?
big deal.
I was hoping to set up an independent course of study. I want to accomplish as much as you have someday.
The last
Hard to do
problem
that without friends.
is the first problem.
Not
It's
so
the first
sure.
episode
Friendship looks like
again.
more of a distraction than anything else, and ultimately a waste of time. I
Oh.
know you and your friends accomplished a lot together, but that was so long ago, and as far as I can see, you rule by yourself now.
That's true, but where are they?
Advisor right here.
Where are the friends? Where's the main 6 at?
In fact, I think it's better.
Where's Starlight? I need to know.
Friendships ultimately fade. Why even make them in the first place?
What a
You know what,
moral!
Lester Dawn? You're right.
What a moral! that we have to get to. And Celestia's playing her, send her that banana, go off to learn in some obscure town, you little luster. Oh man, this intro is old, guys. This is nostalgia at this point. And there's like a multicultural thing around Canterlot. It seems like all the races are together. She successfully bridged that gap between the dragons and the griffins and everyone. They're all in like the new capital of the world, perhaps, in Canterlot. Effectively, it's kind of like a United Nations deal, maybe. But now we gotta teach this student the importance of friendship.
Friendship is more trouble than it's worth? This is your top student?
Friendships take work, and there's no guarantee they'll last.
I think she's gonna show her firsthand, actually, what's happening.
They can be complicated. They can be messy. And
Yeah.
they never go the way you plan.
Oh my God, Flurry Heart has her own
I
thing.
remember the first time I realized it might not last forever.
Look at all these things that can happen. She's telling her her past. Okay, she's gonna teach her by giving her stories
I'm pretty sure that's everything.
I'm just doing a final check, Spike.
of her
Did a
coronation,
final check of every room.
of what happened back then.
Aha! See? An issue of Power Ponies. Now aren't you glad we triple-checked?
The last problem she had
I
before.
read this one. I don't need to take it to Canterlot.
No. You love Power Ponies. We're taking it.
Leaving to the castle. No, Twilight, you need
Really,
to accept the
Twilight? You don't have
change
to bring the comic. I'm not even sure how much longer I'll collect it.
in your
It's
life.
changing, and I am getting older.
People move on. Oh,
Change doesn't mean you leave everything you love behind. Oh.
You're not still worried about ruling Equestria.
that's okay, Twilight.
No.
People
I know it took
change.
some time, but I've never been more ready for anything in my life. Just because I'm ready to sit on the throne in Canterlot doesn't mean I'm ready to leave Ponyville.
Your relationships evolve.
When we were all fighting to save Equestria from T-Rex, Chrysalis, and Cozy Glow, I was too busy to think about it.
I love that.
But now it's all happening at once.
Oh, Chef Derpy.
The coronation, moving, leaving our friends.
I thought we'd all be ruling Equestria
Like, life
together.
Of
changes.
course we will, but it won't be the same. They all have lives here. We're moving away and they're not, and I can't help but feel like we're leaving them behind.
But your future holds
We all just drift apart.
more chances to
I guess I
grow
hadn't
and
thought
make
about
new ones
Maybe you should talk to them. I bet they're feeling the same way.
and learn to live
You're right,
separately.
Thanks. Sometimes talking to a good friend is all it takes.
And this one's about her saying goodbye to her friends. What an ending episode. Just like the fans saying goodbye to the show.
So you're not worried about how things might change with me living in Canterlot?
It's so good.
Of course not. Change is natural, like the seasons. That's just life on the farm.
I guess so.
How are you so calm, Applejack?
I really need to get all these boxes packed and sorted. There's a lot more work now that the folks beyond Equestria are coming to the coronation, too.
AJ, you should be panicking like me, Twilight.
No way! Unless you're talking about the coronation, because then, yes. Obviously the cakes are handled, but there's the whole rest of the party to stay on top of.
I hope we see
I'm not convinced Gummy really took care of the fireworks.
all the grown main six at the end.
But what about after the coronation? Don't you think things are gonna be different?
Assuming this isn't too far into the future.
All the Canterlot galas from now on, I'll have to go there a lot more, so I guess that's different, but I don't think I mind.
No, with Gallus being like a young
Of
adult,
course not.
it hasn't been that long. So it's not a immortality bringing,
Wonderful work, everyone.
some more long-term problems sort of deal.
You and the rest of the doves leave now. We should all arrive in Canterlot at the same time.
This ain't remembrance.
Eloise and Hubert, you should go too. I know it's a long way, but don't worry. I'll bring plenty of snacks to restore your energy before we perform.
Thank goodness for that, too.
Everyone else gets to ride, since the trip's too much for your little wings. We need everyone in tip-top shape for the coronation.
And all her friends are just okay with
The
it.
chance for one last rehearsal. Everyone's so excited, but I can't imagine any pony's more excited than you.
But Twilight,
Moving to Canterlot, being crowned, I can't think of a single bad thing about any of it.
she hasn't known friendship
Yeah.
for as long as they have, when you think about it.
In 3, 2, 1, and...
They perhaps already, had this, because they had friends in school and moved on from
Look, Rainbow Dash.
that.
I know this is important to you, and we all want the routine to be special, but are you sure it needs to be this complicated?
Of course!
Only the best for my friend.
Sorry, Twilight. I don't have time to talk. We've got a lot more work to do before the coronation.
It's all to help you, I swear.
Darling, change is an integral part of fashion.
So leave.
I'm
myself when considering opening boutiques for non-ponies. Things must have
Yeah.
Well, they've
Rarity
come
branching
straight.
out.
For example,
No time for stagnation.
I was just struck with a sudden inspiration to change my design for your gown by including the webs of these star spiders. They glow for a short
Take
while
my
after
spider
the spiders.
slaves, for
They
instance.
won't have much time to weave the sash, but the effect will be dazzling.
They're perfectly okay with change.
Change can be fabulous if you embrace it.
I took them from their families in the caves, and now they work for me, and they love it, don't you, spiders?
Starlight is supposed to come over soon. There's a little something we wanted to give you before we leave.
Oh, Headmare Starlight, I want to see her as headmare of the school.
I think you're right, Twilight. I should take my comics to Canterlot. We can't leave the Power Ponies behind.
I don't think the Power Ponies care, Spike. Just
They're
like
not
our friends.
real, Spike.
All right, Twilight. Are you ready? We all wanted to see you off, but there's still a lot to do.
He gets so buff in the future, my god.
I gotta go with Big Mac so we can go over our packing list, or we won't know who gets what deliveries.
And I'm gonna meet the Wonderbolt so we can go over the routine one last time.
This is like a small,
He said he knows when the fireworks display should start, but does any pony really believe that?
minute version of Twilight's fears.
Food for the swans and doves who flew ahead to Canterlot. If I don't get them fed, they'll be too pooped to perform.
Them not being together for this small duration, but then what if you break that
Might as well take the train alone, too.
into like a year long?
Bye.
Everyone has their own jobs and lives they have to deal
Be
with.
traveling alone, darling. Just
Families,
enough time on the train to weave the star spider sash for your gown.
responsibilities,
No
distance.
time to dawdle if you want the coronation to be perfect.
That's the problem. You're also worried about making my coronation perfect, but I'm leaving Ponyville and none of you even care.
Oh, they care, but they accept it.
Exactly. You moved away, your friends didn't care, and that was that.
Actually, not exactly.
They threw me such a cool party.
Of course we care that you're moving, Twilight.
I can't believe you think we don't. What could possibly make you think that?
I tried to
Look, she's
talk
only
to you all
moved
about how I was
once.
feeling, but you seem more worried about what you had to do for the coronation.
It's true. I was there.
She never had friends in Canterlot to begin with.
Something else to focus on.
I knew you were worried about everything changing. I guess I thought if I made it seem like everything was okay, it would be.
I was just trying to make you feel better.
There we go.
Wait, I wouldn't feel so terrible.
There we go. The
Before I
denial.
moved to Ponyville, I didn't really know what friendship was. You've all taught me so much. I can't believe it all might be ending.
We had 9 seasons of great adventures
All I can think about is that we won't be together. I'm literally moving away from you and it's terrifying.
and lessons
I'm
learned.
scared too. Me too.
Rattled to the core.
It's moving's rough.
I wouldn't say scared.
Moving on.
But just because I won't say it doesn't mean I don't feel it.
Like I felt that.
I'm gonna miss you so much.
Going off to college, then leaving college.
Things are going to change. What if we don't see each other? What if we don't talk as much?
What if we don't stay friends?
Twilight, you need to invent social media for Equestria so you can all keep tabs. It's the only way. You are the new Zuckerberg.
Knowing you're all as upset as I am actually makes me less worried.
That's
It absolutely does.
But you should be more worried about missing the train to Canterlot.
Sorry.
You can teleport.
I actually thought I'd missed you. There's no time.
You guys, Twilight, Starlight, you can both teleport that distance.
Oh no, we missed.
You have the power. He's right there. That's a short distance teleport. Thank you.
We're on the train. Everything should be fine, right?
I'd worked out exactly how much time I needed to weave my star spider sash, and now I'm behind.
Oh
Big
no.
Mac can figure out who gets what deliveries on his own.
I assume these contain the finest sparkling apple juice.
Hey, whatever.
Yep.
Mac, the top-notch businessman.
Because applesauce for my coronation parfait.
Oh, that was the
This is the applesauce.
chef guy again. His name is evading my mind right now.
I don't have the snacks the doves and swans will need to perform after their long flight. I'd better find the food car.
Oh. Oh no, mortal enemies.
The Wonderbolts!
Rarity, you fool.
Where's the coronation team?
Well, they waited, but when you didn't show,
I'm
they
the
thought
sweeper
you must be
pony.
outside of Canada.
I sweep. Wherever you put me, I sweep it.
I'm worried about is Gummy handling the fireworks display.
It's my lot in life.
I'm sure it's fine.
Well, it could always be worse.
Oh no, the train hit Gummy. Oh, the black sheep. It would be you.
goodness, Twilight, are you all right?
My friends and I had a few hiccups on the way, but everything's fine now.
We really are both
We also
just
adopted
so
10
proud
sheep.
of you. If you need a moment, that's all right. It is your coronation.
I need a moment. Someone give me a moment.
Although it would be nice to get started. Are you ready?
It is sunset.
Oh, she can't possibly be crowned without her coronation gown.
We have to catch the light just perfectly.
Citizens of Equestria,
Yeah, everyone. Oh, students, the cakes. They get their own table.
my sister and I have ruled this land for quite some time, but even we know
Don't
that
ask me my
change
age.
eventually comes to us
Zecora,
all. And
Tempest,
though we know it
ah!
can be unsettling, it's as
Sassy
natural as the
Saddles,
rising
Doctor and
setting of the
Rose.
sun and the moon, both of which my sister and I feel confident leaving in the hooves of the pony.
Oh. Nice dress. That's good. Show them your dancing, Twilight.
Further ado, I give you the new
There are
ruler
spiders
of
in your
Equestria,
sash.
Princess Twilight Sparkle.
The Princess of Spiders. And tripping.
Sorry.
Oh. Is that how that works? Did we just make...
Twilight.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh dear.
The war's upon us.
These aren't the snacks I promised, but it's all I could find.
Man, you're starving them, Fluttershy.
Twilight's about to get that crown. Wonderbolts, roll out!
Uh-oh.
No, wait!
We're not ready. You can't rain boom on your own. It's impossible. Gummy's going to explode. Nice catch. Pretty good, yeah.
Twilight.
The light ribbon! Oh, having fun. Back together. Settled their unicorn earth pony dispute. Holding hooves. I love it. That's okay, Mac. You work so hard.
Enough.
Okay, I get it now.
I love it.
Your coronation was such a disaster that you and your friends never really recovered, and that's why you all drifted apart.
Who do you think we are?
You're half right.
Well, we drifted apart, but I think we recovered. Oh, keep us in this time zone. Time
Coronation
period.
wasn't a disaster, and your friendships just faded away.
No, show them your friends by bringing them in.
Not exactly.
They are your heads of state. Yes! Oh!
So hard to find a sitter with a sense of humor for Lil Cheese.
Well, Pinky is heads of cake. She has a kid with cheese.
Honestly, I would have been here sooner, but you would not believe how busy Yak-Yakistan is these
Oh,
days.
the crow's feet. Everyone's
You get
eyes.
to places on time if you let me do some of the chores instead of always doing everything yourself.
Wait,
Maybe I would
what?
if you did them the right way. Oh, sorry.
Did they just confirm Apple Dash? Like, actually? What?
Headed to an O&O convention where he'd be joining us.
Is she living with Discord?
Just assume that since you aren't together all the time now,
That we aren't friends? That's not the point of my story.
Oh my god.
My coronation was a disaster.
Twilight, you aged so much better than Rarity. I bet she's super jealous.
well, at least the coronation is over.
Oh, my heart. There's a weight in my chest. You gonna drink that, Fluttershy?
I was just about to say the same thing.
Starlight. Oh, I want to see
Maybe it
Starlight.
wasn't the coronation you planned, but it's good to see all of you laughing.
I want to see Headmare Starlight.
Give this to you before you left Ponyville, but things got a little hectic.
I want to see
Since
Trixie.
you're moving away, we thought if you missed any of us, or Ponyville, this might help.
What is it? It's a cell phone. Oh, it's like a Harry Potter.
It's a book of memories.
And we all chipped in some.
No matter how much things change, you'll always have this to look back on.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Oh,
But I
it's
don't
so
wanna
good.
only look back.
Look
Obviously,
forward.
The coronation wasn't perfect, but that doesn't matter. It's our relationships that really count.
We have so
and
much
we
more.
have to maintain them.
But now that we'll be living in different places, I'm not exactly sure how.
I am.
And maybe
I suggest we meet once a moon.
a little less often, yeah?
First royal decree as ruler of Equestria is to establish this council of friendship.
Yeah! All right.
And what a wonderful decree it is.
My senior advisors.
Knew that whatever adversity you faced, you and your friends would find your way through it together.
We know Equestria is in the perfect hooves with you and your friends.
This is great.
looking
This
out
is
for
how
it.
things should
While
go.
we'll always be here if you need us. It's time for us to be on our way.
I want to see them. What are they doing?
Visit us in Silver Shoals.
But now it's time for you to rule on your own.
They're going to a retirement home?
More than capable.
You guys have plenty of age left in you. You can travel the world, do whatever you want. You don't have to go to Silver Shoals.
So, even though everything changed and you moved away from your friends, you didn't grow apart?
I like the gradient in her hair.
This is the Council of Friendship. That's what you're all doing here?
Duh. This time, every move.
How does she not know that?
What she means is...
Wouldn't she have learned that in school?
Ruling together.
Like civics class?
Continue to face every problem and threat to Equestria over the years.
But mostly, it's how we
Man, that gray stripe.
no matter how busy life gets.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes friendships can be hard, and it takes work to maintain them. But without friends, things can be a lot harder.
Straight up daughter Discord happening.
Friendship being something to work at, and I don't mind work. I guess if they don't have to fade away, maybe making friends isn't the waste of time I thought. But
Man.
I've been so focused on my studies, I wouldn't know where
Twilight
to
had to
start.
defeat
That's alright, because I know
a
exactly.
world-threatening villain to learn that.
When I started out,
Twilight's such a better teacher than Celestia.
I thought I knew all that I needed, didn't know what to expect.
And a song to close us out.
Down, I saw the truth.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All along, something was missing.
Please, montage me across Equestria.
And I think you'll see it too.
Please give me everyone.
Where the magic happens.
Give me Derpy. Yes, Larabon. Oh, Twist grown up.
Our friendships weave together stronger. The bonds grow deep.
Oh boy, the CMC. Oh, the CMC. You have to show me that.
This spell you'll know. It's how the magic of friendship grows.
Even it's the Fry Pony. Oh my God, even him grown up. What a the cakes.
How much time goes by,
Oh my God.
party will still be here with some fun new games.
Oh, they're all grown up. How is Gummy so big? I guess alligators are big, aren't they?
Long as we're still here together,
Do I know any of these ponies as Wonderbolts?
flying happily.
She's like the coach now. She's a retired
Magic
Wonderbolt coach. Yes!
is where the
Oh!
magic
Yay!
friendships we
Trixie! It's a CMC!
the bonds grow deeper.
Look at all the Kieran even! Look at that little owl thing!
There is with the magic of friendship.
Oh, I want to see everyone! I want to see the statue of the villains in the courtyard.
It's something true to pass on down to generations yet
Dogs, but known as kids!
come. And we'll never stop
Oh my goodness, she's so big!
generosity.
Oh my god! And they're together.
Love that I feel for every single living creature is something that is real.
I can't handle this.
Happens so naturally.
Oh my god.
When how I used to wonder
That
could be
that one broke the straw. That broke the camel's back right there. Oh my god. Wow, what an ending. For some reason I didn't even think about a song closing it. I don't know why. I didn't even think about it. Sunset! Oh my god!
how the magic of friendship grows.
And she has her own, oh my god, she has her own friends, her own group there. That Black Griffin's so cool. And the book. And the book, that's the last shot, closing the book. Closing the book that opened at the beginning! It's the last shot! That's beautiful. That's a good last shot. Oh man, when Fluttershy came in, like all of it, but it just took that one thing to to push me over there. That was good. That was real good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was Season 9, Episode 26, The Last Problem. And what am I even supposed to say here? What can I say? What words would adequately bring across everything I'm feeling and everything that this meant? I don't know if they exist, and if they do, then I'm not prepared for them, but I'll do what I can, and maybe by the end of this outro, I'll have something partially worthy to say to close things out. But until that point, there's a heck of a lot of material to unfold here. More than any episode has ever given us, probably. But before that, just an initial overall takeaway. That was beautiful. It was an incredibly emotional episode that brought things full circle. They closed the book on the show, figuratively and literally, and they showed us a bright future for Equestria and our main characters without filling in all the gaps. Did the show need to have an epilogue like this that really hammered the nail in the coffin by jumping so far in the future, having such a broad scope? I don't know, but I don't fault them for it. They brought their vision to a close, and it was pretty marvelous. I think the final scene of episode 25 at Donut Joe's was a powerful potential close for the series, but I don't fault this episode for changing that, or for making these big canonical leaps. I'm fine with accepting the decisions they made. Some of them I can definitely see being divisive. I haven't seen a lot of audience response yet, but the showrunners definitely went for it, and I respect that. Let's dig into the crazy amount of stuff that just happened. 10 seconds into the episode, Spike walks through the door, and he is buff. It's immediately jarring to see him as a character, but also recontextualize the entire episode in your head as it happens. It's funny, the second time I watched it with my partner, he also paused it there to just take a breath, so I'm not the only one. We see he's the friendship ambassador, so he's been with Twilight this whole time. I think that fits his character. I don't think we have any indication of if he has a girlfriend or anything. We don't know what happened to Gabby over time. And the poor guy gets a little side seat beside her throne without a full back on it, but it seems like his posture is fine. Anyway, Twilight. She has grown into her alicorn body over time. It did not happen at the coronation, but she developed into it, I guess, when she became an alicorn. Just her genetics transformed. And that brings about probably the biggest question and concern of this entire episode is, did her life expectancy go up to hundreds, thousands of years like the princesses? Like, this is straight up a remembrance situation wherein she outlives her friends, and we've seen a response to the contrary years back, but this episode implies something different. One thing they did not show us, maybe strategically, were any other princesses. We did not see Celestia, Luna, Cadence, or Flurry Heart, though we saw Flurry on a window pane. She had a stained glass thing. Apparently she saved Equestria one day. So aside from knowing Flurry's grown up, we don't know how those other ones aged, which kind of prevents us from making a comparison with Twilight, which is why it may have been intentional. And the only thing that really disappoints me about that is that Cadence, Shining, and Flurry got the shaft. I would have loved to see them in this time period. Anyway, next thing we learn is that Gallus is a royal guard. I love it, he looks great in the gold. Not much more to say, really. Then we meet Twilight's top student, Luster Dawn, and history has repeated itself. Twilight's found herself in Celestia's shoes, having to show a faithful student the power of friendship. Even going so far as to take her to Ponyville to do it. Though unlike Celestia, she actually joined her and sang her a song about it. What a good teacher. This eventually leads us to the central conflict in the past, and that's Twilight's fear of leaving behind her friends, her past, saying goodbye to Ponyville and everything she's done there. It gives us both a powerful moral in and of itself. I've gone through this a couple times, most people will, as well as working on a meta level with the show and its fans. Because this time around, it's a lesson that everyone who's watching this episode needs to hear. The binding connector of the moral of this episode for the audience is being part of the audience. That's great. And I do love that her friends were trying to keep it together for her sake and their sake. It shows they care about her, and eventually it shows that it's okay to be afraid together, and to show emotion around your friends. On another note, there is some good comedy in this episode, and I appreciate that. Especially here, it adds levity to an otherwise pretty somber occasion. It's great to see everyone there for the coronation all together, much like the end of the last episode, except this time instead of charging down a hill, they're sharing nice glasses of applesauce around circular tables, and oh my god, Capper made it! That's beautiful. I don't remember seeing him in 25. I like that the coronation was a whole fiasco. It also gave Twilight a good twist to her story to surprise her student. How convenient all this lines up. Anyway, Lyra and Bonbon can be seen there, and also in the full free press, there's a whole half a page for their wedding. I saw a tweet that they decided to put this in, and then retroactively put the engagement into the Big Mac episode. Kudos for that. Then we hit the 2/3 mark in the episode, and everything goes crazy. Pinkie Pie married Cheese Sandwich. They have a kid together, along with Boneless number 6. We are immediately hit with this image of confetti in giant bushy hair, a teddy bear, and bags under the eyes, in contrast to Twilight's perfect alicorn visage. Seeing the main 6 pop up was just a series of blows to the heart. Mixed emotions, nostalgia, trying to accept where they are now, everything they've been through, everything we've witnessed. Then Rarity walks in with the gray stripe through her mane, oh man, and it seems from what we're given that she's the only single one aside from Twilight. Obviously very busy with her fashion empire, some hotshot CEO. I wonder how many cats she owns. But then the biggest bombshell, and even in this episode I'm surprised that they did this. Apple Dash, heavily implied, basically confirmed in my interpretation. When they walk in, it sounds like they're living together, and at the end, Rainbow has her hoof on Applejack's head in that final shot. I'm genuinely surprised they went through with that, and I appreciate the audacity of it all. I know some fans will have qualms with it, but this entire episode is the fanfic headcanon equivalent of a book burning, the kind of chaos that would make Discord blush. But unlike Lyra Bond, they did leave this one a little ambiguous as it's presented. Rainbow seems to be a Wonderbolt coach of some sort, and just the most suave hairdo. And AJ, the biggest just straight up gut punch of this episode, I guess. AJ is wearing Granny Smith's shawl, and Apple Bloom has the one from Goldie Delicious. Obviously with this time jump, it's not a surprise by any means, but seeing that subtle nod is almost worse. And then Fluttershy, oh my sweet darling. Her hair's all done up so nice, and Discord packed her a nice lunch, and she's aged just the same as all her friends, which, once again, let's take a look at Daughter of Discord or Remembrance. It seems Discord has not done anything to prolong her age, whether by her choice or the limits of his own abilities. I've always been fascinated by stories that revolved around that narrative, so this was a big deal. And she popped in via his dimension, so is she living at his house? I have so many questions, and I'm glad that this episode did not answer all of them. Anyway, Starlight giving Twilight the Book of Memories was adorable. And I like that Twilight put all her friends on her inner council. That makes sense, I didn't really expect anything different. But let's talk about that song. I don't know if I've ever had a harder time keeping it together while recording an episode. Perfect Pair is the only thing that comes close. It was so easy to feel the full gravity of the situation, seeing all these familiar faces and knowing that it was saying goodbye at the same time. Like, even being focused on the performance of the reaction. I watched this episode again with my partner, and I did a much worse job of holding it together. When the background music fades and Fluttershy comes in, that is pure, concentrated goosebumps and tears. And couple that with Twilight holding that final note while the MLP tune shows up. You guys are evil. I can't handle all that. Especially after that barrage of information you get thrown at you. Pound and Pumpkin Cake grown up, that one really got to me, and that's why I really would have loved to see Flurry Heart. Gummy grown up, like, damn! Starlight dressed up as Headmare, Sunburst with the giant beard, looking like a ginger star swirl. And Starlight hasn't killed or fired Trixie yet, it's a miracle. And you see everyone who became teachers at the School of Friendship, Silverstream, the CMC looking, surprise, surprise, like the adult versions we saw in episode 22. Ocellus delivering tea to Smolder, those Student 6 particularly very jarring to see grown up. And down to the farm with Big Mac and Sugar Bell, and they have a son, and Winona's puppies are playing around. Plus you see the apple and pear tree before they get there plain as day, so you're primed for emotion. Big Mac is such a dad. Yona is so big. I thought I was prepared for anything after the episode, but nope. But she's handling the Ponyville boutique, and that's amazing! And she's with Sandbar! Oh, they're together, and I'm so happy. Then, as I mentioned, the beautiful Fluttershy moment. The sanctuary is doing great. We see animals hopping through portals as animals do. With Angel's descendants, I'll say. All this animal stuff's real rough. And ironically, Tank is the one that might still be alive, though we can't prove it. And of course we move on just to really drill in those tears and eke out all the bittersweet nostalgia from the viewer. We fill the background with every character we've come to know and love over the past almost decade. I'm only 2/3 water, guys. I need to conserve it. It also helps point out the characters that we did not see here. Luna and Celestia obviously went to Silver Shoals. We didn't see any of the Crystal Empire gang. Zecora, poor Zecora. We never got a chance to touch on the Zebra Lands. Maud and Mudbriar, Mr. and Mrs. Cake, any of the pillars, the families of Twilight or Rarity or Rainbow Dash or Fluttershy, and many more. A lot of loose ends that I would have loved to see, but I'm okay that we did not. They don't need to show us everything, and what they did show us was awesome. And the last shot, the main 7 looking out as Twilight student finds her first friends. And they zoom out and close the book from the beginning of the show. Those last seconds are basically perfect. And that's the end, and I loved all of it, and it meant so much more than just one episode of a series. It's an episode that I kind of wish I didn't have to react to, because it's so big and I can't do it justice by myself. I said I'd try to have the words by the end of this outro, and I'm still searching. This is the end of the show. It's the last episode of Friendship is Magic to watch. It's the last one to react to. I found this show 7 years and 4 months ago, and there are few things that have had as big an impact on my life directly or indirectly. My life has been shaped by the people I've met thanks to this show. I started my journey on YouTube over 4 years ago thanks to the show and the fandom that sprouted from it, against all odds, and it became bigger than I ever expected, and seeing it end feels like, much like that last shot, a chapter of my life closing. And I know I'm not the only one, but the fandom certainly isn't dead, and regardless we'll always have the memories of the times we've spent together thanks to this amazing team and the creative, dedicated people who built a community out of this insane notion that we can all benefit by showing and sharing a little loyalty, honesty, generosity, laughter, and kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me here and for being there with me the past several years. I can promise you this is not the last time I'll be signing off, but I know things will never quite be the same after this one. But we all learn to move on, and no one knows what amazing things the future might hold. So, until next time, I hope you know you're all my very best friends.